Hello viewers, in this video we are going to see the operation of operational amplifier based inverting amplifier, and this circuit is having operational amplifier 741 IC, input resistor Ri, feedback resistor RF, load resistor RL, bias current compensation resistor RComp, input Vi and output Vout. Before getting into the detailed operation of this op-amp based inverting amplifier, we must know first why this name comes for this particular circuit. Inverting amplifier. If we look into this operation amplifier 741 IC's pin connections, it has got two input pins, that is plus, that is non-inverting terminal, and minus inverting terminal. So if we connect the non-inverting terminal to ground via RComp or directly, and similarly simultaneously if you connect the minus terminal to Vi directly or with the help of this Ri, the thing is inverting terminal must be connected to the input and non-inverting terminal must be connected to the ground. If any configuration follows this principle, means that configuration will become inverting op-amp configuration. Here the circuit is used for amplification purpose, that's why the name is inverting amplifier. Inverting input terminal is grounded, inverting input terminal is connected to the input Vi and non-inverting terminal is grounded. So if the inverting terminal is connected to the input, means the amplifier configuration becomes inverting amplifier, and the non-inverting terminal must be grounded. So this is the reason for choosing the name for this particular circuit, inverting amplifier. So here, before getting into the operation, we have to revise the ideal and practical characteristics of operational amplifier. So op-amp is having input impedance is infinity in ideal case. Here for practical case, the same infinite input impedance becomes maximum. Ri will be always maximum, a greater value for practical case, and output impedance Rout is 0. Here Rout is approximately 0, nearly 0, and bandwidth will be infinity. Here bandwidth will also be maximum, and for ideal case open loop voltage gain AV becomes infinity. Here AV becomes very high value, and for both practical and theoretical case, V1 and V2, these two are taken as inverting and non-inverting input potentials. V1 and V2 are same, and means if V1 and V2 are same as a potential, we say it is 0 volt, means Vd, the difference between the V1 and V2, that must also be 0 volt. So the potential difference between the inputs applied at these two terminals must be 0 if both the inputs are chosen as same. V1 and V2 are same, means Vd must be 0. So these are all the characteristics of operational amplifier, and by considering the first one, that is for ideal case input impedance is infinity and practical case input impedance is very high. So because of the high input impedance, the current consumed by the op-amp at its input side will become 0 amps, or you can say in other words, op-amp draws 0 current, it consumes 0 current because of its high input impedance. So op-amp draws 0 current initially. Because of op-amp draws 0 current initially, the potential difference between these two terminals must also be 0. Say if you choose this as V1 and you choose this as V2, means the V1 minus V2 must be 0 volt, or this will be taken as Vd, the difference between the two input potential must also be equal to 0 volt. This will happen only by considering op-amp's high input impedance, and because of high input impedance, the current draws by op-amp at its input is 0 amps. Because of current is 0, and potential difference must also be 0. So you have to keep these three things in your mind. Op-amp's input impedance is very high. Because of op-amp's input impedance is very high, the current at input side is 0 amps. And because of current is 0 amps, the potential difference between the two input terminals, if you take V1 and V2, means the two terminal potential must be 0, or VD, the difference between V1 and V2, will be 0 volt. By considering these three things, we have to solve the current equation and output equation for this particular inverting amplifier. And the non-inverting terminal is grounded by R-com, so the potential at this terminal will be 0 volt because it is grounded. So the potential at this point, that is, if you take that as V1, it is 0 volt. And V1 is 0 volt. We can write here V1 minus V2 must be 0 volt. Here V1 is 0 volt minus, what about V2? We don't know, but the entire difference must be 0 volt. So if you put 0 volt here, 0 minus 0, there won't be nothing, that is 0 volt. So the potential at this terminal V1 is 0 volt. And to satisfy this V1 minus V2 equal to 0 volt, the potential at this node A, VA or V2 must also be equal to 0 in order to satisfy the difference potential between these two terminals, non-inverting and inverting, must be 0 volt. So if you choose both the potentials are 0, means this V1 minus V2 equals to VD, that will be equal to 0 volt. This will be satisfied. Since the other arm, non-inverting arm, is having 0 volt, this arm is also assumed to be having 0 volt. Even though this particular point VA, node A or V2 is not directly grounded, but the potential at this VA or V2 must be 0 volt to satisfy this op-amp's initial condition, that is, potential difference between these two arms must be 0 volt because of op-amp consumes 0 current. Why this op-amp consumes 0 current is because of op-amp's input side is having high input impedance. So to satisfy these things, the potential at this reference arm, say this, take this as reference arm, that is non-inverting arm, the reference arm potential V1 must be equal to the potential at V2. The V1 is 0 volt, so V2 must also be 0 volt to satisfy VD. The difference between these two must be 0. So V1 equals to V2 equals to 0 volt because of this VD equal to 0 volt. So op-amp's initial conditions satisfied. But the thing we have to look here is the node A or the VA at this point is not physically grounded, but the potential at this node A, say VA or V2, whatever it may be, the potential at this node A is equal to 0 volt in order to satisfy the input conditions of operational amplifier. So this place is called as virtual ground. That node A is called as virtual ground. Why this name comes is the potential at this node A is 0 volt, even though the node A is not physically grounded. If a point is not physically grounded and that point is having 0 potential, means that point or that node is called as virtually grounded node or virtually ground. Hence, virtually ground or virtual ground is defined as in inverting amplifier and at the inverting terminal in node A, the potential at node is 0 volt even if the node is not physically grounded. That particular node is called as virtually grounded node and the potential in this node is virtually ground, or the particular place is called as virtual ground. And for analysis, consider this virtually grounded node A and apply KCL at this node A. Gives KCL, Kirchhoff current law at node A, gives sum of the current entering the node A will be equal to sum of the current leaving the node. So the current entering the node A is II via this RI is entering, and similarly feedback current IF via this RF is entering to node A, and current leaving the node is only one current. It is going towards op amp's input side. Say this is IB minus, or simply I you can take. So as we know that op amp's input side is having very high input impedance, the current consumed or current drawn by the op amp initially, it is 0 amps. Because of that, the potential difference between these two terminals must also be 0 volt. So I going towards op amp must be 0 amps. So there is no current drawn by the input side. So by considering this, you can write the equation. The current, sum of the current entering the node is II entering the node VA, looking to the direction, plus one more current is from feedback, that is IF, will be equals to current leaving the node is, can take IB minus or simply I. Name this as equation 1. And by using this equation, you will be able to calculate the output potential. And now, to find this II, you have to consider source node potential minus destination node potential divided by the component. So II equals to source node potential Vi minus destination node potential. Can take Va or V2 as per our analysis, or the potential at node A. Vi minus Va divided by the component Ri. What about the value of Va? This potential is, even though it is not physically grounded, the value at the potential, value at this node, or the potential value at this node is 0 volt. So Va is 0 volt. To satisfy Vd equal to 0, we have assumed this node is virtually grounded. So virtually grounded means the potential at this node is 0 volt. So Va is 0 volt. By considering these equations, you will be able to solve. After applying Kirchhoff current law at node A gives II, the input current, and feedback current equals to the current going to the op amp. Op amp consumes 0 current initially, so there won't be anything in the right hand side of the equation. So II plus IF equals to 0, since I equal to 0 at op amp's input because of high input impedance. So as I said already, this II will be source node minus destination node divided by Ri plus IF. If you look into the circuit, IF is source node potential minus destination node potential. Here source node potential is V out. So this V out, source node potential, minus destination node potential is Va divided by RF. So this equation becomes Vi minus Va by Ri plus V out minus Va by RF equals to 0. We know that Va is virtually grounded potential, so this Va must be equals to 0 volt since it is virtually grounded. So Vi by Ri plus V out by RF equals to 0 because it is virtually grounded. So if you keep V out by RF one side, then this Vi by Ri will be moved to the right hand side and you'll be having minus. So V out equals to RF is moved to right hand side, minus RF into Vi by Ri. So V out equals to minus RF by Ri into Vi. So this is the output of this inverting amplifier circuit, that is feedback resistance divided by input resistance into the input potential will give you the output potential. You will be having a minus because this configuration is inverting. So whatever may be the input, 180-degree phase shifted output with multiplication factor of RF by Ri will be available. So here V out by Vi, if you move the Vi from right hand side to left hand side, you will be having V out by Vi will be equals to minus RF by Ri. So this is your gain for inverting amplifier AI equals to minus RF by RI. So the ratio between the feedback resistor and the input resistor will fix the gain. For example, if you want the gain is 10, means you have to choose RF and RI, the ratio becomes 10. For example, if you want to give a Vi equal to 1 volt, and if you want to get Vout is 10 volt, 10 times amplified version, means Vout will be equals to minus RF by RI into Vi. So this RF you have to choose is 10 times larger than RI. So 10 kilo ohm, here it is RI is 1 kilo ohm into 1 volt. So this kilo ohm will be cancelled, 10 by 1 is 10, and you'll be having the minus 10 into 1 volt is 10 volt. You will be able to get according to the requirement, that is 1 volt you are giving, 10 volt you are expecting, you'll be having it. But because of the minus, the resulted signal will be 180 degree phase shifted version of the input. So these kind of inverting amplifiers are utilized in many applications. Few applications are integrators, differentiators, filters, logarithmic amplifiers, and plenty of operational amplifier based circuits are designed with the help of this inverting amplifier configuration. I want to draw the waveforms for the examples we have discussed, that is Vi input is 1 volt and output is minus 10 volt for the feedback resistance of 10 kilo ohm with input resistance 1 kilo ohm, means we have to draw the input like this. It is a sine wave input. Suppose you are giving sine wave input of 1 volt, means you have to draw the sine wave for 1 volt, that is for peak to peak values. Upper peak is having 0.5 volt and for lower peak it is minus 0.5 volt. So peak to peak value 0.5 volt to minus 0.5 volt, totally it will be 1 volt. And here it is drawn for 1.5 cycles, that is 3 periods, that is on positive peak, negative peak, followed by positive peak. And for this input, according to these two resistors, according to our inverting amplifier's output, we have Vout equals to minus 10 volt. So we have to draw the waveform for 10 volt. So here, with reference to 0, plus 5 volt is allotted for positive peak and minus 5 volt is allotted for negative peak. So peak to peak value becomes 10 volt. So to 10 volt, you can draw positive peak followed by negative peak followed by positive peak. But here, because of the inverting configuration and inverting amplifier's response is having minus, so we have to draw the waveform with 180 degree phase shift by comparing this input. So input and output is having 180 degree phase shift, because here it is plus 1 volt, here it is minus 10 volt for output. So you are supposed to start your waveform by shifting the phase difference is 180 degree. So you have to draw like this. So you have to draw your waveform like this. So for positive peak, you will be having negative peak but amplified version. You will be having amplified output. And for negative peak, you will be having positive peak. And similarly for positive peak, you will be having negative peak. But the peak to peak amplitude for the output, peak to peak amplitude for the output is plus 5 volt to minus 5 volt. It will be 10 volt. And because of the inverse operation, you are saying the output is having 180 degree phase shift with input. That is to compensate the minus. So because of the minus, output is 180 degree phase shift with input. And this is your output, Vout. So like this, you have to draw the waveform for the input and output for this inverting amplifier. Thank you.